Chuck Crosby, this question is for you. Gilly sent us an email with an interesting question. This is for anybody who deals with a homeowner association or a condo association. Gilly writes in this email, we live in an area where every neighborhood has an HOA, whether it's a single family home or a condo. They range from $400 to $1,000 per month. That's the fees for the condo association and maintenance and things like that. And she thinks the process is a little insane, she says. And Gilly says, we received HOA documents on a house we're trying to buy today, but the reserves seem low to be about 26% funded this year. So she's wondering, and I think this is really a great question for anybody when you're buying a home or a condo. How do you go about reading the HOA financial health documents? Because they seem like they're maybe a CPA would be able to make their way through it. But what do you think, Chuck? Is there something specifically, like how much of the reserve is enough?
Well, that's not a question that I can answer. I mean, that's not a legal issue. That's going to be how much money do you personally keep in your bank to, cover incidentals at your house? That kind of thing. This is just a group of people that are doing that sort of thing.
That's where an agent is, you could say a CPA, but really a good agent's going to help you kind of understand
figure out what the budget is and all that kind of stuff.
Take a walk around the property, look at it. Does the roof look like it's been recently replaced? Is that coming up? Okay, what's the cost of the roof? Okay, look at the reserves.
And that's all going to be in the condo docs as well, is when all that was done. When you say CPA, the condo that I'm on a board with, the guy that keeps those numbers actually is a CPA, but it's all itemized out. It's not that difficult. You just look at it and see what the reserves are, what the projected expenses are, what the operating budget is. And if you're looking at it and you don't see enough in reserves and those roofs are looking pretty tight, well, that tells you that there's going to be an additional assessment at some point coming up here.
Yeah, well, and
then they're supposed to have 10% of annual operating budget in their actual bank account. And I just had one in Florida that was at 4.7%.
Yeah.
So now all of a sudden, I have to have the client go from bringing 20% to the closing table to 30% because it's a Fannie Mae guideline. And you're talking about, man, it can be complicated. It can be easy with condos, but it also can be very, very cumbersome.
Yeah, if they aren't keeping enough. But, everybody in a condo, I don't want my condo fee to go up.
That's exactly what their argument was.
Yeah.
Chuck.
Or you have others that are just plain mismanaged.
Yes.
So
and maybe it was a combination of both. I don't know. They just said that they don't want to raise their condo fee, so that's why they decided not to do this operating budget.
Yeah. So until they're forced to when they have to fix the problem, and exactly. Assessment, and everyone is in. Yeah.
Touche. And is 10% a good rule that they should keep?
That is
okay.
Yes,
I see. I'm looking. You can do a simple Google search. There are ranges anywhere from 10 to 40%, depending on how it's managed and what it looks like. The higher the reserve fund in your mind, it would be a safer bet, right?
Yeah.
So,
well, Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac.
We did a reserve study, and we keep updating it every so often, so that we have 20 years out, and then we just kind of shoot for that. That's how it should be done. But
the Fannie Mae Freddie Mac guidelines not to have to bring more to the closing table is 10%. So I can get somebody in a condo as little as 3% down, or even zero.
But that's an important rule, is that minimum of 10% for the government loans. Yeah.
Right. So actually, I have one that closed with you all last week. It was 0% down. But they had a 10% operating budget. So
you're good. We're going to take a break. When we come back, more of your questions and also common mistakes that could be ruining your kitchen. We'll talk about that. I know Chuck is interested in that because he's in the kitchen a lot. He's a great chef.
I am in the kitchen a lot.
A lot, yeah. And speaking of Chuck, staying with us, Chuck Crosby. He is the owner of the Crosby Law Offices. They do a great job on real estate closings, wills, powers of attorney, and a variety of other things. You can reach Chuck at 499-6360. Also continuing with us, Randy Rocky. He is the head guy, one of the head guys at Swan Financial. You can reach Randy and his group to get you pre-qualified and to the closing table, 645-0736. My son Greg is continuing with us, who does our marketing, photography, and a lot more. And you can reach me if you're thinking of selling your home now or in the future, even buying a home. I would love to be able to help you. Free, no obligation analysis. Come out. Come out. We talk. No home too big, no home too small. You can call me at 376 5483 or go to bobsellslouisville.com. And we'll be back in a moment on News Radio 840 WHAS.